raucous noise, and in this video vlog chat thing, this is a video where I'm actually gonna attempt to be kind of serious for a change. We'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah, a couple of things before we start. One, if you are not caught up on the current events of Critical Role Campaign 2, it's currently on episode 111. This might not be the video for you if you don't want spoilers. I'm not going to talk about them too much, but they'll probably sneak in there, so spoiler warning. Also, for the first time in my life, I am using a trigger warning on my video. I'm going to be talking about some stuff from my life. Basically, it involves domestic abuse, violence, depression, that kind of fun stuff. So if any of that is in any way triggering for you, then I would recommend either not watching this video or watch with extreme caution. And also, please know that if any of that has happened to you, then you have my undying love and support, and I love you loads. Okay, so it seems like the right time to do this. I've been umming and ahhing about making this video for a while, and spoiler alert for Critical Role Campaign 2. Right now, after the events of episode 111, kind of feels like the right time to talk about it. Basically, I am going to talk about Mollymauk Tea Leaf, why I fell in love with his character, why he effectively saved my life, and what he is still doing for my life right now. It all sounds really crazy, but I really need to, to talk about the real impact that Mollymauk had upon my life, I need to go all the way back, so woodly woo with me into the past. So going back a ways to 2017, I was just starting to come back out of my shell after escaping a abusive relationship. I never really talked about this before, especially not on the internet. I want to encourage anyone who's ever experienced any form of abuse that talking about it is okay, and you can do. I want to encourage people to talk about that, and it plays a really big part in why Mollymauk means so much to me that it's probably not clear right now and may not be clear by the end of the video, but I'm going to attempt to explain my thought process. So yeah, I personally think of myself as one of the lucky ones. My entire relationship with this guy lasted less than a year, and once I got out, I stayed out. I'm also luckier than most because my hurt wasn't really physical. I had a few bruises that healed, but I had no scars that I had to cover over. Everything that happened to me was pretty much emotional, mental. Looking back now, it was like living in a constant state of mental attack. I would come home from a double shift waitressing, covered in sauce and stains and crumbs, and with pockets full of receipts I hadn't gotten ready to bin yet, and I would be accused of lying about where I was. I would never get a full reason why. I would just get accused of not having been at work at all. I'd be accused of wearing different clothes to the ones I left the house in, and every day it was almost something different but the same. I would be sitting on the sofa looking at crap on my laptop, and this guy, who shall only be called this guy, this guy would come into the room and claim that he was standing in the doorway for 10 minutes watching me type things, and then when I heard him coming, I was apparently closing all my multiple tabs down. And I would offer to show him the laptop and show him that I have YouTube or Facebook or whatever, the bank, whatever I was on, open at the time. But he'd never take that. He would both accuse me of being tricksy and clever and hiding stuff, and at the same time belittle me down and say that I wasn't clever enough to fool him. I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped dressing nicely. If I did, I was told that I was dressing up for somebody. He made me quit the summer circus job that I worked, we did freak acts and dancing, and I did like balancing acts on a chair and all that crazy stuff. I stopped seeing and speaking to all of my friends. I stopped drawing, I stopped writing, I stopped dancing. I stopped listening to the music that I liked because it wasn't the music that he liked. This guy wore me down and all the time had me convinced that it was normal, or that it was my fault, that he was mad, and that if I loved him, then all of this was perfectly normal. I remember talking to the police therapist that they gave me. She was great. And about a week after I got out, I was talking to her and she was just sort of letting me ramble, but she was asking some questions, and when I finished describing the relationship, she said that this guy was a textbook abuser. In a weird way, I learned a lot from that relationship. I learned the early warning signs to look out for. I learned the true ugly horror of what jealousy and paranoia looks like. And I learned what it feels like to believe you're about to die. So what finally broke me back into some semblance of sense was when this guy demanded to see my phone. So very foolishly, I asked him why he wanted to see my phone. And he immediately told me that the relationship was over then. He said, well, that's it, we're done. Because I didn't hand the phone over to him straight away. He said I was hiding things. And he said, you know we're done now, right? And I was confused. I just sort of went, okay. And then he left. I think he went to pick up his son from school. Yeah, not my kid. I don't judge people for their opinions, but I have never wanted children, personally. I love children, but I don't want any of my own, and I am ridiculously thankful for that, particularly given this scenario, because I have seen how easy it is for people to get trapped in a relationship like this because of their kids. And I am unendingly glad that I didn't. I had nothing to stay for. So while he was gone, I packed. I didn't really have a suitcase or anything, so I just packed my handbag, a bag I had, with my keys, my sketchbook, my favourite CD, my cuddly toy sheep, and I tried to pack some clothes but they wouldn't fit, and I just thought, okay, well I'll come back for them later in the week, I'll collect everything when I can borrow my dad's car or something. And then he came back and he said to me that he wanted me to stay one last night so that his son could have one last night of the whole family. And I very stupidly agreed. He said I could stay in the bedroom and he would stay in his computer room. So I stayed. And while I was in bed, I started sorting out my social media. I removed all of his friends from my social media and I removed my relationship status. I didn't have a big reveal of like, I'm single, because I think those are really dumb and stupid and kind of tactless, and I didn't want to be cruel. I was scared of this guy. So I just removed the relationship status completely. And then I removed him as well. And about an hour and a half later, he came storming into the bedroom, screaming and kicking and yelling and punching the door open, and he had been looking at my Facebook and he had seen everything that I'd done. He was shouting and accusing me again of lying, of cheating, of a million different things I can barely remember, but basically he ripped the laptop out of my hands, smashed it over his knee, threw it on the bedroom floor twice, stamped on it, and then threw it down the stairs. I remember going a mile a minute and going, just don't react. Don't do anything. Don't scream, don't shout, don't try and take it back. Don't do anything. And then he was demanding my phone again. And I was saying, well, no, I need my phone. I'm going to call a taxi and I'll just leave. Like, this was a bad idea. I'll just leave. And he was saying, no, you'll give me your phone because you're a liar and this, and I need to read all your dirty messages. And I was trying to keep the phone from him and saying, no, like, thinking it's 2 a.m. in the morning. What am I going to do if, like, I'm leaving? I knew that I was going to leave this house, but without a phone, that's when he properly attacked me. He was pushing me and shoving me. He had me pinned up against the wall by the throat. And that was when I changed my mind and decided I really should be reacting now. I need to make as much noise as possible so that someone might hear me. And I was trying to scream and kick and yell, and he kept smashing things. He punched 2 holes in the wardrobe. He smashed over my CD rack and started trampling on my CDs. After he'd pinned me, he sort of released my throat a bit to shove me away, and that's when he got the phone off me. And I remember lying on the floor with all my broken stuff and no phone in the middle of the night with no one who could hear me and no one who could help. And he was standing over me, and I thought, I'm going to die. I thought, he's going to kill me. This is where I'm going to die. But he managed to get distracted by the phone because it had no lock, so he was going through the messages, and then he was telling me I was getting out, and I was agreeing with him. I'm going, and I had my bag, and we were halfway down the stairs when he started demanding my keys, because he said he didn't want me to be able to get into the house behind his back without him knowing. I started to panic then, thinking, I've got no phone and I'll have no keys. How am I supposed to get out? If he lets me leave, how am I supposed to get out the door? How am I supposed to get back and get my stuff? And all stupid thoughts of just, like, I'm not giving him my keys. And I knew that they were in my bag. And he was swarming around, and I said, I think they might be in the bedroom. Him in a different room. And he went storming upstairs to look for the keys, and he was shouting, well, come on then. And he was like, and I could hear him get to the top step and start to turn around. And I went, in my head, this is it. And I didn't have time to get the keys out and unlock the door. So I climbed out of the window onto the gravel and I ran for my life. And I ran all the way down the street, and it was like 2 a.m. and there was like no street light, and I got to the next street over. As I turned the corner, I heard somebody cycling, and he had a bike, and he always took his bike like to work and everything, and I suddenly thought, oh my god, he's coming after me on his bike. I still don't know if it actually was him. I don't know if he would have left his son in the middle of the night to come after me. I don't know, but there was someone on a bike and I was terrified. So I dived into somebody's front garden, and the person on the bike went past, and then I knocked on this door, and I was knocking on the door, and I was calling through the letterbox, and I was saying, I'm really sorry, can I use your phone? I need to use your phone, will you let me in? And this poor guy inside, I think he probably thought I was on something or trying to rob him, because he just shouted like, go away, essentially. And I didn't blame him. Even in that moment I thought, I sound ridiculous, I wouldn't let me in. Maybe I would nowadays, but you know, So I don't blame that guy. And then I heard another bike, or the same bike, a bike coming back down the road, and I dived back into the front garden again. And for the second time that night, I was 100% certain he's gonna find me. He's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die in my pajamas in this random person's front garden. But the bike went past, and it went sort of back down the other end of the road, and I came out of the front garden, and I tried out the doors, but no one was answering, and all the lights were out. It's 2 a.m. So I just ran again, and I ran all the way to the main street, and it was lit, and it was like lights, oh my god. And a taxi was coming, and I threw myself at this taxi. The poor taxi driver. He looked fucking terrified, oh my god. And this poor taxi driver, and he like went down the window again. He probably thought I was drunk, and I was trying to gabble my story to him, and he had 2 people in the back. There was this like older woman and older man, probably on the way back from the theatre or something, or a night out, I don't know. And I was just gabbling to them. I can't even remember what I said. I think I just said like, I've left my boyfriend. I need a phone or something. And this lady, and the lady in the back of the car just said, oh my god, let them in for goodness sake. And her poor husband let me in their taxi. And then the taxi driver let me use his work phone, to call the police, I think, and then my dad, or the other way around. And then he drove me to my dad's house, and he didn't charge me. And I wrote or called, I think I wrote in to the taxi company the next day, and I'm pretty sure so did my mum, and said thank you. And then basically it was a big blur of the police came out, and they were kick-ass coppers. They were great. There was a man and a woman, and they were so nice, and it was like 3 a.m. And you know, they probably had like a murder to solve or something. but they sat there and they talked to me, and they believed me. And I think the next day the guy was arrested, but the police did all the stuff they could do, but somehow none of our neighbours had heard anything. And this guy said that I had broken my own laptop, and that I had been angry at him, and I had broken all my stuff. And because it was sort of one word against the other, there was nothing they could legally do. But at that point I just wanted out. So I had a very nice police escort to go to the house and collect all my stuff, and got all my stuff out, except for my circus costumes, which I never saw again. I think he hid them and destroyed them or sold them, I'm not sure what. I was just glad to be out at that point. I was so... Given the context of this video, this is going to sound like a really choice word, but I was empty after that. I had nothing left in me. I sort of shut down emotionally because it was safer that way, and it was a long time before I left my dad's house, and it was a long time before I left the house on my own. I'd lost every sense of my own identity. It had all been slowly chipped away from me, and I wasn't sure how to rebuild it. I didn't really know the person I used to be before that relationship, and I didn't really want to be that person anymore. And that's when I found Critical Role. This will sound super dumb, but basically, I binged the first campaign and watched the finale. Vax was my favourite. I think maybe some of the sorrow in him played at me. I love all the characters, but I don't know. Bex was definitely important. And I'll never forget the first time I realised I cared about him. So a fictional character had made me feel something again. I was excited to see what he was doing, what they were all doing in episodes. I was happy for him, I was sad for him, and that was a sort of breakthrough for me in a way. I'd shut it all off for it was a couple of years at that point. I'd just not let myself feel that much, and now we get to the point of this video. Sorry it has taken so long. Mollymauk Tea Leaf swanned into my life in January 2018 when Critical Role Campaign 2 started, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was at the time. Maybe it was that we had both been in the circus. More than that, something in me just went, yes. And that was it. Without even thinking about it, he was my favourite character. That was it. It was Molly. And then we found out more about him. And we heard about how he woke up. Spoilers, campaign 2. He woke up with a hazy past that he could barely remember and didn't really want to know about. He was just trying to live life as best he could, to bring chaos and joy, to leave places better than he found them, and to make good, to not let a bad past experience make him a bad person. And that was the point. The more and more he spoke, the more familiar it sounded to me, and the more it hit home, and I was suddenly going, oh, and that has stayed rooted with me ever since, and it's never gonna go away. I love Mollymauk because he is the first and only character that I have seen the entirety of myself in. I relate to his whole thing. And I knew then what I wanted to do. It was like he was telling me. I wanted to be a better person than I had ever been before. I wanted to take the crappy bad situation and turn it into the best person I could be. I wanted to bring joy and a little bit of chaos and be the best person and make places better and make people happy. And that's what I started in like the middle of 2018. I got a new job working in a kids theme park with puppets, telling stories and doing crazy voices. I re-dyed my hair crazy colours, I went to charity shops again, I found clothes I enjoyed wearing again, I found a new version of my old style again. He kick-started my life again, and I was living again. And I owed it all to this lavender tiefling who was in my life for 26 episodes of a show, but who smacked me around the face with everything that I could be and everything that I should and wanted to be. I started doing cosplay, and one day I was brave enough to start trying my hand at Mollymauk. Here we are now, and I have been cosplaying Mollymauk for 2 years, and I have never felt as confident as I did the first time I put on Molly, and every time since when I've put on Molly. But slowly I learned that I can take that confidence and I can wear it even when I'm not wearing Molly. And it took a while, but I have it now, and it's in me and it's there, and it may not look like it right now, but I'm a confident person. I am not here to tell you how deeply his, spoiler alert, death affected me. I am here to tell you how much his existence has saved my friggin' life. The first Molly cosplay I ever threw together was in 2018, and I loved it and immediately wanted to improve it. I am forever wanting to improve my Mollymauk cosplay because how much I owe to that character. I want to do him justice and be the best Molly I possibly could be. And that brings us to 2019, last year. I had made a whole new Molly. I had my third version of the coat, I had made my tail, I had made horns, I had made leggings. You can see it, it's that one on that side. I wore it for the first time to a local Comic-Con and I met critters. Even at such a small con, I met critters. I made friends and took a bazillion photos that I've still got all over my walls. And I entered the cosplay competition and bloody hell, I won! And I was thinking about all the hard work that went into the cosplay, and I was thinking about all the things I wanted to improve with the cosplay. But most of all, I was thinking, I did it, and I did it as this character who effectively, it sounds dramatic, but effectively saved my life. And fun fact, my abusive ex was there. I saw him. I don't know if he recognised me, partly because I was purple and wearing a wig, and partly because I was happy. And I don't think he ever really saw me happy. And I really don't care if he saw me or recognised me or not, because the important thing that happened for me was that I wasn't afraid of him anymore. And I walked past with my boyfriend and my friends and a medal and I continued to have the best day of my life. Being in Molly for that was just, yeah, that was special. So now it's 2020. I am making my fourth Mollymauk coat. It's behind me. I don't think I will ever be done with this cosplay because I owe him so much that I just keep wanting to improve and be even better. Every version of the coat I've made has been different and I like the little moments. So my coat has got things from every character from campaign 1 and campaign 2. It's got a little thing for each character because I've got the Molly that I know, the Molly that helped me, and that strings back a little bit into campaign 1 as well. So I wanted to honour that by having all those things in. In the third coat I made, I have the logo on the back and the sun tree and Grog's tattoo on the hood, which I'm probably going to do on the new one. And I'll talk about the coat in another video. I'll do an update video on that soon. That's why I love Mollymauk. That's why he is my favourite character. That's why I have a Mollymauk tattoo. That is why I will never be done with this cosplay. That is why I am so glad that we're going to get to see some of his backstory in the game. That's why I'm so excited to, well, meet Lucian. And that is why I chose the username Raucous Noise, because I'm forever making raucous noise and being crazy, but I wanted a piece of Mollymauk's name in everything that I do and create. So, Mollymauk tea leaf and Taliesin by extent, I guess, even though you will never see this. Thank you. I owe you everything. Of course, long may you reign.